The committee has had a series of hearings this Congress examining the current state of our electric grid. We have heard from FERC commissioners, grid operators, and other experts on the looming grid reliability crisis. I believe we need to bring more reliable baseload generation online. There's no replacement for reliable energy, but I'm interested in the role AI can play in grid management. So, Mr. Renshaw, how can AI be utilized to optimize grid operations and improve reliability?
That's a great question. Thank you, Chairman Duncan. So there are a number of things that AI can do. One of the things I would point out is that the grid is the most complicated machine that has ever been developed by humans. So it's extremely complicated to optimize and utilize. Our grid operators do an excellent job today of maintaining grid reliability. However, we know that we're not in a fully optimal state, and that's where AI can come in. So we can utilize reinforcement learning, which is essentially a series of you utilize a gamified physics-based simulation where you put in different sets of inputs and evaluate what the reinforcement learning model will do and what the impact that would have, whether you have brownouts, blackouts, power sags, power surges, different things like that. And all of those would result in penalties to the reinforcement learning model. On the contrary, if it's able to adapt to these different scenarios, then it gets rewarded. And through millions and millions of different simulations, the model is able to get trained on what types of situations work and what don't. And so EPRI, RTE, University College London, and various other global collaborators combined together for the Learning to Run a Power Network Challenge over the last several years, and have identified a number of promising methods where AI can be utilized for running a power grid. Now, we're not proposing that we would automate an entire power grid, but use this more as a decision support agent in the future.
So I visited a utility provider and watched how they managed their distribution network. And about every 30 minutes, they were looking at whether they were generating more power and could sell it across state lines or buy power. It was almost, AI could do that in real time, right? And it would be more efficient on inter-transfers?
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's great. On the energy production side, AI is already helping to advance operation and increase production while driving down cost and emissions. Mr. Abo, can you walk us through in a high-level way, you touched on this a little bit, how producers in the oil and gas industry are utilizing AI to optimize their operations?
Sure. In the oil and gas industry, basically the area that's easiest to get is to apply AI is for reliability, and so this is improving the availability of and throughput of oil and gas, and reducing non-productive time, which can be as high as 30% in the industry. So that's the first, I'd say, lowest hanging fruit. Then AI can be applied to production optimization, so increasing production, whether it's in refineries or whether it's in managing wells and reservoirs, increasing production, increasing yield, and actually reducing the amount of energy used to basically deliver oil and gas. And then thirdly, in the area of safety, so using AI to basically use drones and to look at asset health or asset integrity, using aerial surveillance rather than sending people out to do that. So that's another area. But essentially, AI can be used across upstream, midstream, downstream, and tens, potentially hundreds of applications or use cases. And the objective is to lower the break-even price of oil and gas and improve the safety and sustainability footprint of the industry.
Even pipeline inspections and downstream, midstream delivery.
Correct.
As well.
That's right. Really across the entire oil and gas value chain.
One last question to former Undersecretary DeBar. I understand AI's great potential to enhance decision-making process in the nuclear industry. How can AI improve nuclear reactor performance?
So by installing sensors in each of the turbines and each of the breakers, each kind of component associated with any power plant, including nuclear, which is on the complicated end, it can collect data on how the pumps are operating and how they're wearing and when they fail. And over the course of time, once again, you can do this on any power plant, you could figure out better than Westinghouse or GE on the original, because you got more data, real operations for that particular power plant. And you can predict when to go do the preventative maintenance on that breaker or on that pump or kind of any operating system. And as a result, you're able to drive up availability, i.e. make more power for a cheaper cost. It's more reliable. And so it's already being deployed on certain types of power plants.
Thank you for that.